Hello again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is Full Deck Challenge Day and we're going to be doing card number 25, and the prompt is my two favourite colours. So that's a difficult one for me. Being a designer, I love colour and I love lots of different combinations of colour, but if I had to pick a colour combination, it would be blue and green together. Now, all different shades of blues and greens together, and I love an analogous colour scheme. So analogous colour scheme is when it's colours next to each other on the colour wheel. So green, blue greens and blues, those colours together are my favourite. So I'm going to do a card today, and the carryover item for me today is going to be thread. So I'm going to put a little bit of thread on from last week's card, from the cocoon, and I'm going to use my constant, which is paint samples. So let's set up and get started. So for my paint swatch, I have die cut out a few leaves out of my Dulux paint swatches, and I've cut quite a few out. I've got some more over on the side, but I may not need them. You can see that I've got some lovely shades of blue greens, and ranging from turquoises through to teals. Teal's probably my favorite color within that color range, and also dark blue. It's like ultramarine blue are my two probably favorites. So, but as you can see, I've die cut out a few leaves out of both of these paint swatches, so I'll put those to the side. And I have fussy cut out the collared kingfisher bird from here in Australia, and they habitat on the coast and they live in mangroves. So they habitat from around about maybe Exmouth on the western coast all the way down to northern New South Wales, all the way around the top and around down Queensland coast and down to northern New South Wales, and they are absolutely stunning. And their colouring is green into blue greens, and then sometimes they're very teal in colour in their body, and then onto their ends of their wings they're dark blue, so that sort of ultramarine navy blue colour into blacks, and then they've got teal on their tails. So I thought that they were a good example of my colour palette to be my focal point today. And you can see that I also have a piece of dry embossed cardstock here in white, and I'm just going to ink blend that with some different shades of blue. Because we're doing the kingfisher bird, I thought that I would bring out my last black king, the king of clubs, to put our bird onto that. I'm just using some of my old Stampin' Up inks in blues, and I'm going to put a little bit of colour onto this, but I'm going to be a little bit strategic because I want to leave quite a bit of white space on it. I don't want it to all be coloured in. I'm just going to ink blend in to the background of the clouds and try and leave the clouds themselves white. Got a little bit of beautiful teal here we might put down the bottom. That will do. And I wanted to keep the white around the heads of the birds so that you can see the birds. So that will do. Okay, there we go. We have our background. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to punch out. Got to decide which one I want showing, and I think I want this king down here showing. And I think I'm going to punch that out with a punch. Oh, I might tear it actually. Yes, that's okay. All right, we'll stick that down. We have our kingfishers. Oh yes, they're going to look nice, aren't they? Now, some of you may have noticed that the colour of my desk has changed, and that's because it's school holidays here in Australia. It's our mid-year holidays. And I think that I mentioned on a previous video that public schools get 2 weeks and private schools get 3 weeks. My husband is on a little bit of leave from work, and he is painting my craft room. And I had to get relocated, so everything in my craft room had to get packed up late last week, and I got relocated to the guest room, which is my son's old room, my son that now lives in Europe. I'm just going to stick this down just to get it a little bit stuck in position, and then I won't stick everything because I want to tuck some leaves around behind it. So yes, as I was saying, I've been temporarily relocated to the guest room. Now I'm going to tuck a few branches in and around of different coloured leaves. They're not any specific plant, they're just from a die that I had. So I'm just sticking down some of these leaves that I cut out of my paint swatch. And I have some thread, and I went for a brightish green just to add a little bit of highlight, and I'll do some white as well, I think. So I'm just going to pull out some thread, put it on here, I think, with another leaf on top of it, maybe a bit less. Before I stick that down, I'm going to work out where I want my sentiment, and I have found a sentiment out of Tim Holtz's Snarky. I liked this one that said, "I wish more people were fluent in silence." And I can just imagine these two kingfishers sitting on their branch peacefully and then get overran by humans visiting. I can just imagine them sitting there looking at all of the people visiting their habitat, and them saying, "I wish they weren't so loud." The irony is we all know that birds are very loud when they are roosting and they make a lot of noise. However, I'm sure that we interrupt and disturb their habitat quite a bit. So I'm just looking at where I want to put this, and I'm thinking I want to put it down here on this little cluster. And then I'm going to stick this branch on just to disguise the fact that we ran out of branch. That might hold some of the cotton down as well. So yes, I was saying I've been relocated. We went and bought the paint yesterday from Bunnings, and he's going to paint my craft room. And we've got some new cupboards. I needed more storage, so I've got some cupboards to go on the wall above my head. He's going to put those on after he's painted. So these holidays, my craft room's getting a little bit of a facelift, which is going to be nice. I'm going to actually do the back, so I'll stick some paper on the back and trim it down, and I'll be back to you. Okay, I have found a piece of paper that's got some greens and blues and teals, aqua really, in it. So I'm going to just glue that on the back. You can see I've stamped it the 29th of June. That's today's date. And I'll stick that on the back. We're getting along, aren't we? Halfway next week. I think I mentioned on the last card that I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this challenge. Let's put a few white splatters on this. Okay, I've just done some white splatters on that, mainly just on the back of the bird and onto the foliage. I'm just going to dip my watercolor pencil into the water and just go around the edge of it. And you can see that I've left some of the bird hanging off the edge. Okay, I'll let that dry and we'll put a eyelet in it. Okay, I'm just going to punch a hole to put an eyelet in. I think I want a silver eyelet today because I don't want to detract from the colour. Okay, let's glue on our sentiment. There we go. Okay, let's clear the decks and we'll have a look at the card. Okay, here's my card for today. The prompt was my two favourite colours, and my two favourite colours together are blue and green. And I definitely don't believe in that old saying blue and green should never be seen unless there's something in between, because I don't agree with that at all. I love blue and green together, and I particularly love blue, green, and then green all together, and that's what I've got here. So here's my two kingfishers, and they are absolutely stunning. I have not seen these in the wild, but I would love to see them. They look beautiful. And I have put it on the King of Clubs, and that's just peeking through down here near the tail. My carryover item from last week was thread, and I've put some thread in. And for my constant, which is paint swatches, I die cut out the paint swatches into leaves and put them on. And I have a sentiment here saying, I wish more people were fluent in silence. And I can just imagine these two birds sitting there commenting that people are way too noisy and that, humans come into their habitat and start talking and making noise and disrupting their peace. So there we go. There's the card for today. And well, let's add that one to the pack. And I think I'm going to have to get a bigger ring to hold all of these. Okay, thank you for joining me today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all very soon with another project. So thanks again and bye for now.